Hello, it's Jennifer from heysealemon. Those of you who are going back to school have been asking forever for a DIY pencil case, so this video is especially for you guys. Also, I have another back to school tutorial on HGTV Handmade, and if you haven't heard the news yet, I am back on that channel for the rest of this year, so be sure to go and check it out and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you miss any of my videos, I will also include a playlist on my channel page. For this pencil case, I made it 8 inches tall, but this is based on all of my pencils and pens, and some of you might have different size pencils and pens, so be sure to adjust the measurements if you need to for your supplies. Since I do not have a sewing machine, I used hand stitching to construct this pencil case, but if you do have a sewing machine, I recommend using that. And as usual, I will include all of the supplies I used in the video description below. To start, I chose to use red vinyl for this one, but you can use any fabric of your choice. Measure and mark out an even square. I chose to make this one 8 inches, but like I said, you can make it larger or smaller depending on what you're putting in your case. Trim that out, and then for the tabs on the sides, I'm using the same material. Make sure there's enough fabric to fold in half and to grab onto with your fingers, and just trim 2 of those. And the size of these strips is really up to your preference. I chose to make these 3/4 inch by 2 inches. Now for the zipper, these come in different lengths. I chose to use a 9-inch one, but of course you can use different colors and different lengths depending on your case. This zipper is going to be in the center of the case, and I don't really want the stitches to show, so I'm going to position the zipper face down onto the front of the fabric. You want to place it on the edge of the square and make sure those metal parts on both ends are outside of your fabric. So I have the zipper face down onto the front of the fabric, and I'm going to tape it there so that it stays in place while I sew it. I'll be using red cotton craft thread, but of course you can use any thread of your choice. Single thread your needle and then start in the corner of the square. Pull it all the way through until you have a tail on the end, and then return the needle to that same side and tie the end off in a knot. You can sew with any method of your choice. I chose to do a sort of back stitch on this one, which is basically returning your needle back toward the previous stitch every stitch you go, and then returning it back and just looping it around and repeating that process. If you do have a sewing machine, I recommend using that because that should take no time at all, but I don't have one, so hand stitching it is. And you can also try fabric glue, but I feel like with this pencil case it's going to get a lot of use, and this hand stitching might be a little stronger than the glue I have. Once you're done sewing that side, you can tie the end in a knot and cut off the excess. And remove the tape because now we're going to sew the other side. Place that side of the zipper on the opposite side of the square and make sure your square is inside out. Tape that in place and tape the sides so that your zipper will sew on evenly. Single thread the needle again and repeat that same process on this side of the zipper. When that side is complete, you can remove all the tape and center the zipper in the middle of the case. Next, I'm going to sew the remaining sides, but we don't want the zipper on the outside of the case where we will cut it off and can't get to it. So pull the zipper in toward the middle. It doesn't have to be all the way, just a little toward the middle. Now for the tabs, I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back of the case centered with the zipper and sticky side up. Fold the tab in half and place it centered with the zipper on the inside and fold that piece of tape over it. This will help keep the tab in place while you sew it. Repeat the same process on the other side. Now to hold the zipper in place while you sew it, tape the open side together. Tape those ends so that they won't move around. Now on the open sides, repeat that same stitching method you used. And when you get toward the middle where the tape and zipper and tab are, you just want to sew right through them. It's okay if you sew through the tape because that is removable. And feel free to tape down the zipper in more places if you feel like it's shifting while you're stitching. After you're done with that side, go to the next side and repeat the same process. Sewing through this middle portion can be a little thick, especially if you're using vinyl or a thick fabric, so just keep in mind if you do the same, you might want to choose a thick needle and a thick thread like I'm using here. Now that those two sides are sewed together, you can trim off the excess zipper because we don't need the rest of that, and remove the remaining tape. Now for the fun part. Pull the zipper all the way down from the inside, and then turn your case inside out to reveal your final case. This project also works well with old fabric, like recycling old t-shirts or denim. I'm going to use these pair of jeans to make into a pencil case, and the belt loops actually work great for the tabs. I used the same square measurement, and then I used a pink zipper and pink thread. Then I repeated the exact same steps I did on the red pencil case. I'm really happy with how these pencil cases turned out. I think they will be strong and sturdy in any bag that I toss them into. You can make your case exactly the size you want it, and you can even leave off the tabs if you prefer. If you make your own pencil case, I would love to see pictures, so be sure to share those on any of my social links. For more DIY, be sure to subscribe to my channel, heysealemon. If you want to add a pattern or draw something on your pencil case, check out this pattern playlist right here. If you're in the mood for another back-to-school tutorial, check out this video right here. You can find all of these links in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.